Hey, the sister brought up a good point. A part of us coming back to our true nationality, our nationality has a heritage, a culture, how we dress, how we eat, what we do, how we deal with each other. So we have a law on what's okay to eat, what's not okay to eat. Let's talk about pork, because we picked that up from the other nations. Read what you got.
Unlawful.
Leviticus chapter 11 and verse 2. Speak unto the children of Israel, saying, these are the beasts which you shall eat.
So these are the animals which God says it's okay for you to kill and eat.
Among all the beasts that are on the earth.
So out of all the animals he put on the earth, because he didn't put every animal on here for us to eat. Some animals have a job that they do in the animal kingdom.
Right.
But some animals, God said, okay, this animal, if you feel like you want to eat it, I'll let you eat that one. But don't eat everything that I put on this earth.
Okay, let me ask a question.
Hey, hold on. Hey, we gonna get the rest of this verse, and we'll get you.
Whatsoever part of the hoof and it's cloven footed.
So whatever parts the hoof, so we can see the hoof of the animal and it has like that split in it, that's parting the hoof.
And chew up the cud.
Chewing the cud means the animal eats grass, eats it, swallows it, spits it back up, chews it again, swallows it again. That's chewing the cud. That's why you look at a cow and it's chewing all day. Because it eats grass, swallows it, spits it back up, chews it again, swallows it again.
Among the beasts that ye shall eat.
So God is showing us among those animals that do that, that have a split hoof and that eat on the ground, there's some animals you can eat, some you can't. Read.
Nevertheless, these shall ye not eat.
So these are the ones that have a hoof and that eat on the ground, but we're not supposed to eat them. Read.
Of them that chew up the cud, or of them that divided the hoof, as the camel. Because
so the camel is the animal we're not supposed to eat.
That's right.
We were living in that region of the world where camels were more often seen than they are over here. Some of our people was trying to eat camel burgers. God said don't do that. Read.
That because he divided not the hoof, he is unclean to you.
So the cow chews the cud, but his hoof is not split like it's supposed to be according to the law. Right. So that's how you know he's unclean. Read.
That's right.
Verse 7. And the swine.
And the swine, which is the pork. Read.
Though he divided the hoof,
he has a hoof. You can look at the animal and he has a hoof. Read.
And he be cloven footed, yet he cheweth not the cud.
He don't chew the cud. The pig or the swine will eat whatever falls on the ground.
That's right.
If I were to drop dead, a wild hog would eat me.
That's right.
And that stays in that animal. It's unclean. It's the garbage disposal of the earth. We're not supposed to eat that. Read.
He is unclean to you.
So like the officer was bringing out, the nations know who we are and they know our weakness is sin. If we're in sin, God will not fight for us.
Right.
When we were doing the laws, God will go before us and destroy entire armies on our behalf.
The sister misunderstood. You can't eat cow.
Oh yeah. I'm not talking about that.
You can. I know you can eat cow, but
we talked about the swine you can't eat.
I know that.
Now,
I stopped at 11
I heard you say something, brother, about the cow. Cow's lawful.
No, what I said was.
Come over here.
What I said was, according to the word, we started off eating nothing but green.
Yeah, that's true.
Green. The first time an animal was killed was for the first sacrifice of Adam and Eve.
That's correct, brother.
So before that point, we were really supposed to just be eating green.
Yeah, sure. And we're going to get that scripture for you. Because there's nothing wrong with, actually go to 1 Corinthians 11 and 3. Because what you're saying is correct. And it's correct according to the scripture. But what the officer's bringing out earlier is, remember, it's sin that allows the nations to rule over us and causes God to not fight on our behalf. So it's not just incorrect foods we're eating, it's how we're dressing incorrectly, it's also how we appear or how we stand before the Most High God. We're going to get that for you. Read.
Leviticus chapter 11, verse 3.
Get 1 Corinthians 11. Yeah.
But I will have you know that the head of every man is Christ.
So a lot of what's wrong in our communities today is we don't have any order. We don't know the chain of command. So everybody's trying to give orders. You don't have people who are in place to execute the orders, and things don't get done. Read.
And the head of the woman is the man.
So the scriptures is letting us know what the order is. So every man, every Israelite man, you so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, who we're supposed to take orders from is Christ, the black Messiah. Not this false image the churches preach. You can't find this anywhere in the scriptures. Christ was what we would call today a so-called black man. That's the order that we're supposed to follow. The man follows that. But the woman, the man is over the woman. Like the father's the head of the household. Or I remember when I was growing up, my grandma used to say the man of the house and things like that. We had a concept of that idea that that was the man of the house He left, he worked, he provided for the house, so you respect him when he comes in. And you do what laws he set in the house. Read what you got.
And the head of the man, and the head of Christ is God.
And Christ has a head that he has to follow. He said, I'm here to be about my Father's business. So Christ is not out of order. And we know God's not out of order. The Bible says God's not the author of confusion.
So you ain't out of order.
So if our communities are out of order, well, we got to start from the top. Is God out of order? No. Is Jesus Christ out of order? No. So the next one to take responsibility is the men. We got to look at ourselves and say, are we out of order? And we're going to get some of the order we're supposed to be in. Keep reading.
Verse 4, every man praying or prophesying.
So every man praying or prophesying means talking about the scriptures or coming out of the Bible. So if a man is doing these two actions, read.
And his head is covered.
And he has something on his head, like a covering, a turban, a hat, something along those lines, read.
He dishonoreth his head.
That man is dishonoring his head, which is Christ. So our head is Christ. So you see all the men out here, when we come out and talk about God's word, we make sure our head's uncovered. Because that shows respect to who's over us, which is Christ. All praise, all praise, all praise. And it's common sense. All the nations get any sense of order because they stole our records and try to learn it. So when you go into court and you stand before the judge, if you got your hat on, what they make you do? Take it off, because they got that from us. Okay, when they got to respect Christ, their head can't be covered. So we're going to copy that from them, but we're going to tell them they niggas and spicks and they ain't nothing.
They got to respect us.
And yeah, and we got to respect them. But everything they learned about order came from us.
Right.
They stole our records and learned how to be in order. Because they are the original cavemen. They lived in caves. We didn't live in caves.
Bring it on.
We were the beginning of civilization.
That's right.
They came in because of our sin. We were in sin and God allowed them to be able to overtake us. So it's important for us to come out of this sin. So a small thing like that, taking your hat off while the scripture's coming out, that's not hard to do. But that shows that you're willing to be a part of what the Most High has planned for his people.
That's right.
That you're starting to take the steps on being under the law and coming out of these sins we learned from the other nations. That's a small thing. There's other things too. Give me Leviticus 21:5.
No.
And because we talked about just on and on this morning about the sin is why we're in the position we're in. So now we got to clarify what some sins are. Because there are some sins that violate the law that you don't have a problem with trying to keep. Like there's a law about not sleeping with an animal. Well, I don't think any of us has any interest in sleeping with an animal, right? So that's an easy law to keep. It's like that for all the laws. When you go down them, it's really easy to keep.
Bring it out.
Another one is easy to keep. Read.
Leviticus 21:5. They shall not make baldness upon their heads.
So this is a law for the men. God gave us laws on how to eat, how to dress, how to groom ourselves. There's even laws on how we're supposed to use the bathroom. God gave us a complete and total law on how to act as a people. Read what you got.
Neither shall they shave off the corner of their beards.
So a man is not supposed to make his head bald. The scriptures tell you that if you're going bald as you get older, that's fine. Some of the prophets were bald. They got old and started losing their hair. But we can't make ourselves bald. That's a custom of the heathen. That's how they choose to worship some of the false gods they worship. They'd have to bald their head. God told us don't learn their ways. We never forget.
Neither shall they shave off the corner of their beards.
And you just spoke on it. When you go to prison or in the correction or something like that, even if you try to get a good job, what they gonna tell you if you got a beard on your face? You got to shave it. Because like the officer brought out, they know we have to be in sin. And they'll use any opportunity to trick us into doing sin. To trick us into doing sin. So just like what you said, when you go up the road or when you are trying to get a good job because you're trying to bring money home and take care of your household, the nations are always looking for a chance to make us sin against God. They are not our friends, they are our enemies. So now I go to their workplace and I go, well, he's giving me a paycheck, he's giving me this and that. Those are gifts. And at the end of that gift is what? Break one of God's laws to get this gift. That's what the devil does. The so-called white man is the devil the Bible speaks of. That's why he comes up with this stuff.
Bring it up.
He knows that we have to be in sin and God will not defend us. So when men start standing up and we start doing God's laws, that puts fear in the other nations. Read what you got.
All right.
This is the Zondervan Compact Bible Dictionary. This is going to explain the cultural significance of having a beard. Read.
Beard, a badge of manly dignity.
A badge of what?
Manly dignity.
Manly dignity. I'm going to say a name and you tell me what you remember about it. Kimbo Slice. What you remember about Kimbo Slice? He had a man. Read it again.
A badge of manly dignity.
You looked at him and said, that's a man right there. When you see a lion in the wilderness, you know that's a lion. Because you see that mane. What was the difference between Mufasa and his son? Mufasa had the mane. He was the king. So when we come back to knowing that we the kings, we come back to wearing our manes. So when they see us, they know you talking to a lion. And a lion will put you to death if you come against his pride. But we don't behave like that. They taught us to shave our face and be clean shaven. That's why when we were on the slave fields and called you a boy. Right. They knew exactly what they were doing. Take that badge away and call them boys. Don't let them even think they're a man. Read that definition again.
Beard, a badge of manly dignity.
And we just read that maintaining your beard is a law, and it's easy. If you just sit down in your chair, it's gonna grow on your face. It's gonna grow exactly what God intended it for to be. That's easy to keep. Read.
As a sign of mourning, it was the custom to pluck it out or cut it off.
Now sometimes we did it as a sign of like, okay man, somebody in my family, we had to put them in the ground, they laid to rest, and I might have took some of it off as a sign of mourning. That was part of our customs, but as a law, we usually kept it. Read.
The Israelites were forbidden to shave off the corners of their beards.
We were forbidden because it was a law, and it's going to explain why it was a law. Read.
Probably because it was regarded as a heathenish sign.
Because we learned it from the other nations. Give me Deuteronomy 22 and 5. Because we talked about something for the men. Now we're going to talk about something for the women. As a nation, because the Bible, God sent us into slavery as a nation, and he's going to save us as a nation. Right. So we all got to come together. So give me Deuteronomy 22 and 5.
Deuteronomy 22 verse 5. The woman shall not wear that which pertaineth unto a man.
So we read about the law on the beard, that the man is not supposed to shave his beard. Now we're reading something that pertains to the woman. The woman's not supposed to wear that which pertains or belongs to a man. Read.
Neither shall a man put on a woman's garment.
Also, a man shouldn't put on a garment or piece of clothing that belongs to a woman. So we know we're talking about clothing. Look at your rappers, your young thugs. They're putting on skirts and pushing it on our young men coming up like it's cool. Now they want to go to the store and buy a little blouse. That's not of us. That's the nation's being sin.
Right.
Read the first part of that verse again.
The woman shall not wear that which pertaineth unto a man.
So we know things like skirts and dresses belong to women, and men shouldn't wear that. Pants. Pants belong to men, sis. But that's something that we haven't been taught. They purposely want us to think that all women can wear pants, but that keeps us in sin. It shows off a woman's shape. So now when a man's supposed to come to you,
I always was trusting.
It was all about ignorance.
Trying to make
it was all about
trendy now.
Now when a man comes
they're trying to trick you to break the law.
Now when a man comes to step to you, sis, instead of trying to step to you like you a princess of God, I see her straight, man. I'm gonna go talk to her. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do that. I like the way she looking. I like the way she talk. And he ain't walking up like, you know what? If I'm gonna deal with his sister first, I'm gonna go through the father or whatever man's over her, and actually approach her respectfully, and then I'm gonna deal with her respectfully. Go to 1 Corinthians 11 and 4. We're gonna start there. So we were talking about with the men about how the men's supposed to have their head covered. Now uncovered. Now the opposite is true for the women. The women should have their head covered. So we're gonna go over that real quick, okay?
1 Corinthians chapter 11 and verse 5. But every woman that prayeth or prophesieth with her head uncovered.
So a woman in the midst of praying, so if you try to pray at home at night, or if you're in the middle of the scriptures coming out, that's prophesying. Read.
With her head uncovered.
If her head is not covered, read.
Dishonor her head.
She's dishonoring her head. So all women of old, your Sarah, your Rebecca, your Leahs, they covered their heads out of respect for the men that were over them. Out of respect, if there was no man over you, it was your father. So your father was the one you were in respect to. If you were one of the widows, like you didn't have a husband, you didn't have a father, then the elders of the community were the men who were responsible for taking care of you. So a woman always had a man to come see about her and take care of her. All women shouldn't have to go down to the public assistance office and try to beg for stuff. We had men that will go, this sister needs help. Why is she having to go to the other heathen and ask for help? We're the men that to come together and make sure she has what she needs, that her water's on, that her light's on, that she's okay. We don't have that standard today because the men are standing up as men. Read that verse again real quick.
But every woman that prayeth or prophesieth with her head uncovered dishonoreth her head. So
while we're out here in the midst of talking over prophecy, sis, I see you got a hood on. It would do you well to cover your head. All praise, all praise, all praise, all praise.
Shalom. This is Bishop Nathaniel of Israel United in Christ. Please subscribe to our YouTube channels. Stay up to date with our latest events, music, and classroom lessons. IUIC plans to continue visiting different countries where this gospel has not been preached before. IUIC needs your help in pushing this truth. So join us, subscribe to our Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and podcasts, and stay up to date with us. For more information, please visit www.israelunite.org.